New York City police officers every day go out and carry themselves like superheroes on the streets. But the reality is, when we're attacked, we bleed. When we bleed, we die. And when we die, we cry. We need your support. We need your support. These police officers need your support as we bury our brother police officer.
That was New York City PBA President Patrick Lynch last night during an emotional press conference. The NYPD has been rocked yet again as another officer was gunned down in the line of duty. Officer Randolph Holder, a 5-year vet of the force, he was fatally shot in the head late last night while pursuing an alleged thief. Now, this is the 4th NYPD officer killed in just the last 11 months. The slain cop's fellow officers now could be seen saluting his ambulance as it passed by them outside the hospital. The suspect, Tyrone Howard, was shot in the leg during the gunfight. He is in police custody. Here with reaction, Milwaukee County Sheriff David Clarke, former NYPD Detective Bo Dietl. You know, I'm looking, you got Blue Lives Matter on you're wearing a thing here. You know, here's my biggest problem in all this. I don't think we're going to see people protesting about another cop gunned down. I don't think we're going to have people out on the streets carrying on. I don't think President Obama is going to go out and make a big deal about this. Why the double standard? You know, we had 4 cops killed in New York City in the last year. I want to give the ethnic
less than a year.
The ethnic breakdown was 1 Asian, 1 Puerto Rican, Spanish, 1 black, 1 white. My point on all this thing is they're trying to cry it's just racism. The cops are all racist. First of all, we have one of the diverse police departments in the country here in New York. And I just looked outside when I come in. We had 4 black officers outside, standing outside of Sun Fox today. We have a great police department. We have a great diversity. It's not cops against the blacks. You know what it's all about? It's cops against the criminals. And a cop is not black, white, Asian, and Spanish. He's a police officer. He's there to uphold.
The rhetoric has contributed to an atmosphere where it's not safe to be a cop.
And when you have cops in New York City that has to fill out a paper and hand it to a guy who you stop, and then he could call a number to make a complaint against you. That officer last night, first of all, my heart and soul goes out to his family. That officer ran into that action. He knew there was a man with a gun there. There were shots fired. That hero officer didn't think of anybody, didn't think of his family. He ran in there and he was shot in the head.
Let me play. For example, Democrats are sucking up to this Black Lives Matter movement. Let's play them, and let's play some of the other anti-police rhetoric. For example, in Ferguson, just a reminder of the atmosphere that has been created by these activists. Remember, Michael Brown robbed a store, fought for a cop's gun, charged at the officer. The witnesses corroborated Darren Wilson's story, but that didn't stop everybody in Ferguson, Missouri, for example. Here's what we've heard recently.
Pigs in a blanket, fry like bacon. Pigs in a blanket, fry like bacon.
Police should not be bullying or arresting journalists who are just trying to do their jobs and report to the American people on what they see on the ground. Put simply, we all need to hold ourselves to a high standard, particularly those of us in positions of authority. There's no excuse for excessive force by police or any action that denies people the right to protest peacefully. Ours is a nation of laws for the citizens who live under them and for the citizens who enforce them.
We've seen demonstrations and protests that have sought to bring attention to real and significant underlying issues involving police practices.
There's a history we have to overcome because for so many of our young people there's a fear. And for so many of our families there's a fear. They've said Black Lives Matter. And they said it because it had to be said.
To those of you who wish to engage in brutality, misconduct, racism, and corruption, let me be clear. There is no place in the Baltimore City Police Department for you.
Sheriff Clarke, then 4 of 5 Democratic candidates asked the question, Black Lives Matter, all lives matter. Black Lives Matter. I thought all lives matter. In that environment, based on what you just heard here, if I'm a cop, I'm not putting my life at risk. I'm not going above and beyond like I might have in the past. Why should you?
Sean, that montage makes me sick, and those people make me sick. No words can express the grief that I have when a law enforcement officer anywhere in the United States gets killed in the line of duty. Once again, one of New York's finest. Have we heard, by the way, from President Obama yet? I know that he's busy tomorrow preparing for his staged backdrop with surrounding himself, cloaking himself with some law enforcement chiefs who are representing cities led by liberal Democrat, criminal sympathizing mayors in terms of this catch and release, this get out of jail free, releasing literally thousands of prison inmates back into communities. This guy who was in custody right now for the slaying last night, when I looked at his record, it is littered with drug arrest, things like assault, things like criminal trespass. This is what the left likes to call nonviolent low level. What they fail to understand about criminal behavior, Sean, yes, I'm indignant right now, is they fail to understand that these creeps graduate to felonious conduct. They don't start with felonious conduct, they graduate. So they want to term this as a low-level offender. How do you go from stealing a bike to murdering a police officer? It happens over time. We have got to put our foot down, and we have got to start pushing back aggressively on this mass prison release back in our communities of these criminals.
Last word.
You know, and there are tens of millions of interactions between cops and policemen all year long. One incident that occurs, there are tens of millions, and they got to highlight this. Those cops are out there to protect you. That guy with the gun could have killed somebody. That 12-year-old girl out in Long Island got shot in the house by a gang member, dead. This is what the cops are out there to protect your lives, and they give up their own damn lives. People have to realize you got to support the cops instead of turning against them.